So when you knew you were going to go to fast jets, did you know what type you wanted to go on to?
Absolutely, 100% Tornado GR4.
Okay.
That was it, wanted to do that. I think partly because of the location. I wanted to be Marham based. My parents lived in Norwich, and I just liked I didn't want to maybe end up at Lucas or Leeming. Actually, so when I got streamed F3, it was a bit of a shock. It wasn't what I was expecting. And I was a bit sad about it, if I'm 100% honest. I know, I look back on it, I think, crikey, the OCE must have hated me. But actually, in hindsight, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm so pleased that I actually really came into my own, and it was the thing that I was probably the best at. So, I'm really pleased. But no, it wasn't the career, it wasn't the jet I thought I was going to fly.
So can you talk us through some of your ground and flying training on the F3?
So, I started off at 56 Squadron, which was at Lucas. First 2 weeks out to Cyprus, I just thought, wow, this is amazing. I've got to the combat jet, and my first 2 weeks are in Cyprus, which was brilliant. Walking out to the jet for the first time is just awesome. Ground school's pretty intense. I mean, you've gone from I flew the T1 in training, so it didn't have a radar, didn't have Link 16. Single engine, and then suddenly you're on this massive grey fighter with 2 engines, radar, secure comms, everything. Wow, this is a bit of a step up. So the ground school's pretty intense, trying to remember, learn and remember how it all works. But yeah, Cyprus was my first trip. What was lovely is you fly with a pilot to start with, and you do your first maybe 4 or 5 trips with a pilot, and then actually the one I remember really is flying with a navigator for the first time, because that's a big responsibility at that age, to fly with someone that doesn't necessarily have flying controls in the back cockpit. Is pretty, is a huge ask. And I think what's lovely is it sets the tone of trust, and you realise what it's, you start to then learn how to be a crew, and that's awesome.
And how did you find the wing sweep? Because it's all manual.
Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. All I would hear from the navigator was wings. Manoeuvres. Oh, forgot it. It's pretty. You had to learn a table of speeds, and you had certain speeds that you had to move them back and then forward, depending on where you were. And you'd start to learn. When you were new, it just felt like black magic. But actually, as you got more experience, you could tell the jet started to tell you. It would start to rumble if you had the wings too far forward and you were going too fast. It became really obvious, which looking back, I remember thinking, God, how did I not get this it's really obvious. But at the start, wow, it's just black magic, and it's just something else that you've got to remember. And that was pretty tricky, actually. But yeah, eventually, and then when you were slowing down, again, it became really obvious, because the jet would just really sort of be quite sluggish, and it was like, wings. But yeah, I think the German one didn't have that. I think it had automatic wing sweep, which I honestly would have killed for.
I think the Saudis had it as well.
Is it?
The Saudis had it, yeah.